Hey everybody, I'm Brian Wolf with Evolution Physical Therapy. I'm a physical therapist. Today what I want to do is get a mobility program for you face-off guys. So if you face off in lacrosse, a lot of mobility needed in the hips, in the mid-back, in the shoulders. So we're going to go over a bunch of combinations of my favorite exercises that I think is really good for that sport-specific population. All right, so let's get right into it. So first thing we want to do is stretch out the hamstrings. So we're going to go into an instep position. This back leg is here. I'm going to stretch with my hands down at the floor. So I'm going to feel this stretch on the inside. I'm going to reach up just like this to get my spine involved. I will feel this stretch in both the hamstring up towards the glutes, and as I reach up towards the ceiling, I'll feel it more in my spine. I want to do this on both sides. And you can move back and forth if you're about to start practicing, do this more repetitiously. If you're going to do this post-workout, hold them for a little bit. So hold them for about 20, 30 seconds. Typically speaking, faster repetitions before working out, longer duration holds after working out, all right? So there's the first one. Next one is a 90-90 progression for your hips on the ground. This is one of my favorite when you're in this position like this. What you're basically doing is we're going to hold our hands together. If you need to modify and put your hands on the ground, you can. But first, by just holding your hands like this, what you're going to do is you're going to turn over this right side, stretching out this right hip into my external rotation. Then I'm going to turn and I'm going to stretch my left hip into internal rotation, and I'm going to do this 2 times each side. Just like that, you'll feel the stretch. If you cramp, back out of it for a second. That's okay. Cramping is normal because we're in these end ranges and we're contracting musculature. So if you cramp in that shortened position, just back right out of it, all right? Then what you're going to do is you're going to pivot off this big back toe. You're going to open up and just relax. Open up and just relax, just like this. Stretch out that hip, work on the mobility of this hip. Then you're going to lean forward. You're going to pivot, and this is tough. You're going to pivot off that knee and raise that back foot up to stretch that hip out. Then you're going to open. So now we've worked on internal rotation actively, external rotation actively. We're going to open all the way up into this hip, and we're going to do sitting bear position, which now we're in this position here to stretch. Okay, now I'm going to turn to finish. So now I'm in this position, and I'm going to do the exact same thing on this side. Now I'm going to turn just so you can see me a little better. But as I'm in this position again, my hands are together. If you need your fans again, use it on the ground. I'm going to stretch out. Now I'm going to stretch out the opposite side. External rotation on my left hip, internal rotation on my right hip. Focusing on pivoting that big toe, opening on up. Really opening that direction so you feel it in the hips. Then leaning forward and working on the internal rotation of that hip, raising that off the ground, all right? Again, if you cramp during any of that, it's normal. You're in that end range position and you're contracting musculature, you're gonna have cramps, and that's normal, all right? So next thing we're gonna do for the thoracic spine, our third exercise, is open books. We're gonna lie on our side. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna open up, just like this. Open up the spine. We'll do it about 10 times each side, and then we'll turn and do it again. Just like this, opening up that spine. And we'll do it about 10 times each direction. So guys, that's another exercise, good one to open up the mid-back. We're actually gonna stay on the ground, so the next two are gonna be in our prayer stretch variation. We're gonna sit on the heels. We're going to reach our arms over our heads and stretch those arms out. We're going to bring this right arm way out to the side. Left hand over that right hand. And stretch out those lats. Stretch out the mid-back. We'll go both directions. We'll go about 30-second holds each side is how you would do this. You should really feel that stretch right through here, into the obliques, into the QL. Overhead, feel that right in the back. And then what we'll do is we'll do the variation of this next exercise, and then reaching straight through, get that spine a little bit more involved. And again, hold that about 20, 30 seconds each. Reaching right through. breathing through as you do this. These can be tough. You can find some different places where you're tight. And again, moving through this flow in general is a great stretch. Great thing to be doing post-workout and pre-workout. Whether you're squatting or working out in the gym or whether you're doing face-offs, these are great things to be doing regularly. Now, the next piece what we're going to do here is a stretch for the inner thighs, because one of the things when we're in that position on the ground, we want to make sure that we're able to pop in and out quickly and build strength efficiently that way. So in this position, you're going to reach this right leg out and slowly separate your knees. Go forward and backwards, really continually reaching that right leg out. Really reaching that right leg out. Stretching out the inner thighs and the adductors. Again, holding that stretch about 30 seconds, 3 times each, and you're really going to, again, sink into that hip. Roll forward and backwards. Move back and forth, and you'll feel all through that inner thigh on the inside part of this leg on the stretch, and you'll feel both sides. Again, hold it about 30 seconds, do it 2 or 3 times each side. All right, great stretch on the inner thigh. Again, really good for face-off guys. This position, these muscles are huge to keep on a more flexible basis, more mobility. Cool, and then the last one we're gonna do here, kind of working on that same theme, is a side lunge. So in this position, we're gonna side lunge, right? My right heel's down, my left foot, I'm gonna work up towards the ceiling. I'm gonna work towards the ceiling a little bit this way. Really stretch out that inner thigh. I want to then use, if you need to use your hands, you can. You're going to drop into this position where you're in an internally rotated position. Stretching this direction here. Stretching that back hip to work in this internal rotated position. If you can get out of it without jerking, you can do that as well. I'm going to use my hands, so you can use this as well. Then you're going to switch, stretching out that right hip. Turning that heel up towards the ceiling, trying to continue to stretch out the hips that way, and then again, back into this position where I'm stretching the internal rotators of the hip, stretching the hamstrings, and getting everything in between. So guys, this is a really good routine that you can do on a pretty regular basis, daily, before and after exercise. Like I said, before exercise, you'd want to do this a little bit quicker. It's more pulsing, different repetitions. Afterwards, you want to do more sustained holds on a regular basis for longer duration holds, like 20, 30, 40 seconds at a time. So give this a shot. Let me know what you think. And then any comments or feedback would be great. Thanks.